So as I have already said in the last class, today we'll be starting with permutations and combinations. Okay. So now permutations and combinations, what is the meaning of this chapter? Means this chapter is best used to test your mathematical understanding, like the various puzzles that we used to solve in our childhood. Means we used to challenge each other in a friend. We have to challenge our friend that can you solve this puzzle? Can you solve that puzzle? Basically, those questions generally come from this chapter only, permutations and combinations. Like which puzzles I'm talking about, for example, in the daily life application, if I give you common example, let's say now 15 members Indian cricket team is there. Okay, Indian cricket team, the total squad is of 15 members. Out of those 15 members, which 11 will form the team? Which will be the playing 11? So how many possible such teams are there? The 15 members that have went to Dubai, they are fixed. Now out of those 15, which 11 will play? Right now we are not deciding the batting order and all those things, but just the team, which 11? So there are multiple options. You can let's say, if I just give you, let's say if we just name them, let's say P1, P2, P3, player 1, player 2, player 3 up to player 14 and player 15. Okay. So let's say combination 1, let's say team 1. One team could be, sir, include players from 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 11. This could be one team. Another team could be, sir, include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10, but do not include 11. Give rest to player 11 and include player number 12. This will be another team. Or yet another team would be, sir, let's say skip player number 3. Player number 3 is not in good form. So player number 1, 2, and then 4, 5, 6, and let's say 11 and 12, for example. Or you could have included 11 and after that 15 also. Player number 15. These many more such teams will be there. So this is one example of a combination. The puzzle that I gave you, that in how many ways out of these 15 members squad, in how many ways can you form the team? It means in how many ways can you form the team of playing 11? This is one puzzle. This is one question of combination. If you are thinking that there are 4 teams possible, one by one we will give rest to all the players, or there are 15 teams possible, one by one we will give rest to all the 15 players, that is not the answer. The answer is a very big number. Okay, so it's not that easy question also for the beginning stage, but once you get through this chapter, you will realize that it's not that difficult as well. This is one example of a combination. So just pick up any 11 out of 15, that is combinations. Then so what is permutation? Permutation is arrangement. Now the same question, I will reverse it in slightly different order. Initially, what was the thing that you have to just pick up any 11 members out of this. Pick up any playing 11. Just pick up playing 11, that's it. Playing 11 is equals to question mark. Now the second type of question that I'm asking you is, out of 15-member squad, what is the batting order of playing 11? Means now you have to do two things. First you have to pick up the playing 11 team, and once you select the team, in that also you have to also give the batting order, in which order they will bat. So here team 1 only, if you consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 11, player 1, player 2, player 3 up to player 11. In team one only, lot many arrangements, lot many batting orders are possible. What was my team one? So my team one was 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on up to 11. Simple order. So now the different batting arrangements, the different batting order, the different arrangements that are possible for team one is, so arrangement one, or let me call this arrangement 1.1. Arrangement 1.1. Why I'm calling it as 1.1? 1.1 means team one first arrangement. So let's say arrangement one will be 1, 2, 3, 4, so on up to 11. Straightforward. Arrangement 1.2. What is arrangement 1.2? So let's say 2, 1, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on up to 11. Or let's say arrangement 1.3. What is arrangement 1.3? Let's say, sir, 1, 2, 3, 7, and then 4, 5, and so on up to 11. It's a very weird arrangement if I give you 1.4. Arrangement 1.4. 1, 2, 5, 11, then 6, 8, then 7, 10, and what are remaining now? 3 is remaining, 4 is remaining, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is remaining. Yes. So very weird arrangement, 1.4. And more such are possible. Only these 4 arrangements are not there. More such are possible. Now, can you see that these arrangements that we have written only 4 of them. Lot many are there. These 4 arrangements are only for team 1. Keep this in mind. This is only for team 1. First of all, we have written only 4 out of the many things that you can imagine right now. You must have gotten an idea that so many arrangements are possible. Seeing this random arrangement of 1.4, you must have got a feeling that so many arrangements are possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a very, very big number. Okay. So lot many arrangements are possible, and that too, if our team is fixed of this playing 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 11. If we change the team, then again different such arrangements. If we take team 3, then again such different arrangements. So this second question, out of the 15-member squad, what is the batting order of playing 11? It's such a big number. Do you get this feeling, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first question, that just pick up playing 11. This question is of combination. I will give you the proper words also. Right now, just understand it. Combination. Out of 15, we are just picking up any 11, irrespective of the arrangement. So in combination, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 11, you say, or you call it as 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6 up to 11. These are one and the same thing. Okay. In combination. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 11, that is also called as team 1 only. And 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that will also be called as team 1 only. Okay. So this is a question of combination and permutation. The permutation differs from combination only because of one word, that is arrangement. In permutation, arrangement is important. Arrangement, or the standard word is permutation. The second example, the second question that I gave you, it's a question of permutation. It's a question of arrangement, which means it's a question of permutation. Okay. Got the difference between the meaning, meaning of the words permutation, combination, and the difference between them. So if this much is clear, we will move ahead. At any point of time, if you do not understand something, don't waste your time in typing the question. Just raise your hand in the chat box. I will get to know that you have raised the hand, and then I will give you the permission to unmute yourself. Okay. So no one is raising hand right now. So I'm assuming that everybody understood it.
So can you repeat the permutation part?
Okay, Pujita.
There.
Yeah, okay. So the permutation part is the arrangement in which the players have to be picked up. So let's say if you have to submit the name to the ICC, let's say player 1, let's say position 1, batting order, I'm telling you. Okay. Okay. So position 1, let's say, now these are positions. Positions. So first arrangement that I'm giving is, let's say, player 1, player 2, player 3, P4, P5, P6, P7, and so on up to P11. Okay. This is one batting order, or this is one permutation. This is one arrangement. This is one permutation. Another permutation, if I give you, let's say P1, P3, and P2. Okay, the same playing 11. The same 11 players I'm taking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 11. The same exact same 11 players, but I'm just changing the batting order. P3 I'm giving the preference, and P2 will be bat at third order. And then let's say P4, P5, and so on up to P11. The same 11 players. Okay.
Actually, sir, in a question, how do we differentiate if we should do permutations or combinations?
Yes, so that question will be mentioned specifically. So let's say if I give you a question like, let's say, in how many ways can you pick up a team of 11 players out of 15? If this is my question, in how many ways can you pick up a team of 11 players? So this is a question of combination, because team is team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, or 11, 10, 9, 8, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7 up to 1. That is, team is a team. In team, you do not differentiate by order. So this is a question of combination. But if I give you a question, let's say 5 friends are there. 5 friends, in how many ways can they be seated in a row? 5 chairs are there. 5 chairs, 5 identical chairs. In how many ways can 5 friends be seated in a row? What do you think this is a question of? Permutation or combination?
Permutation.
Permutation, yes. So 5 chairs are placed side by side each other, and 5 people, you have to, 5 friends you have to sit among them. So you are changing the arrangement. So there, let's say friend 1. One arrangement will be, so friend 1, friend 2, friend 3, friend 4, friend 5. Another arrangement, this is completely one arrangement. Okay, one arrangement or first permutation. Another arrangement or another permutation, they are just synonyms. So friend 1, friend 2, let's sit friend 5 in middle, friend 4, and friend 3, and lot many will be there. In all, total 120 arrangements will be possible just for 5 friends. 120, it's such a big number. Okay, I will tell you how I arrived at this 120 figure. I will tell you. Have I answered your question? What is the difference between permutation and combination? How to judge when we'll have to take permutation and when we'll have to take combination?
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, Puviantam, don't waste time typing the question. You can unmute. Okay, what was Puvi's question is each arrangement is a permutation, or is it the set of all arrangements? Puvi, this is one arrangement. It means this is one permutation. This is another permutation. This is third permutation, then fourth permutation. So in word format, I will say that for 5 friends, if you want to arrange them, there are 120 arrangements possible, or you can say that there are 120 permutations possible. Okay. Okay. So before moving forward with this permutation combination chapter, in your book, in not only in NCERT, in each and every book, the chapter starts with the theorem called as fundamental principle of counting. I will personally recommend that. Okay, for namesake, it is good that we can say that yes, we know the fundamental principle of counting, but fundamental principle of counting that we study, it's a very fancy name, but actually it is basically the unitary method, the 7th standard NCERT, 7th standard unitary method that we studied. One mango cost 10 rupees. So what is the price? One mango cost 10 rupees. So what is the price of 7 mangoes? Everybody knows this answer. It is, sir, it will be 7 multiplied by 10, 70 rupees. This method that we studied in 7th standard called as unitary method, that exactly is fundamental principle of counting. Means it's a little bit exaggerated statement. Okay, so you can say that sir is bluffing, so I will accept it. It's a little exaggerated statement, but I will personally recommend that don't fall for those fancy words. It is just an extension of this unitary method. So in whole of the chapter, permutation and combination, each and everywhere we will be sticking to this unitary method only. 1 mango 10 rupees, 7 mangoes how much? I will not extend my knowledge beyond 7th standard. This is because this complete chapter is a chapter of logic only. Okay, so what is fundamental principle of counting? Before giving you the formal definition, let me tell you, let's say there is two principles. Principle of multiplication and another is principle of addition. Now again the question comes at, so when to decide when there will be multiplication and when there will be addition. I will say that you have to, what to say, like use your little bit your own common sense only. So let's say you will get to see that how to differentiate it. Let's say there are 3 cities, A, city A, city B, and city D. There are 3 cities are there: Akola, Bombay, Delhi. From Akola to Bombay, let's say there are Ahmedabad to Bombay. Let's say Ahmedabad to Bombay, there are, let's say, 3 routes. Okay, in 3 routes, in 3 ways, you can go from Ahmedabad to Bombay, and from Bombay to Delhi, you can go, let's say, in 1 and 2 different routes. Okay, and when I say that you go from Akola to Ahmedabad to Bombay, 3 routes mean 3 routes only. I mean, there is no funny business that says first I will go from Ahmedabad to Bombay, then I will return back, and then I will again go. This I will call it as 1 route. No, no such funny business. 1, 2, 3, that's it. From Bombay to Delhi, 1, 2, that's it. So now if I ask you the question, from Ahmedabad to Delhi, in how many ways can you take the flights? In how many ways can you travel from Ahmedabad to Delhi? What will be our answer?
So 5.
5. Okay, one of them is saying 5. Okay. Yash is saying 6. Pujita is saying 2. Anybody else? Just have to type a single digit in the chat box. This you can type in the chat box. Come on, students. Okay, Dave is saying 6. SO1 batch students, please respond. Puvi is saying 2. Okay. Think for a while. I will give you 1 minute. Think for 1 minute and tell me. Think for a minute. I will give you 1 minute time. Okay, Vignesh answer is wrong. Okay, Vignesh is saying, okay, shall I? Vignesh answer is wrong. Puvi answer is wrong. Pujita answer is wrong. Afrin answer is wrong. Think again. Shri Ridhi, sorry, net issues. Can you please repeat the question? Okay, Shri Ridhi, I am saying in how from Ahmedabad to Bombay there are 3 ways to go. From Bombay to Delhi there are 2 ways to go. So in how many ways can you travel from Ahmedabad to Delhi? Kartikeya, okay, Kartikeya has answered. The correct answer is 6. Everybody, correct answer is 6. Please convince yourself for a
Sir,
minute.
why not 5, sir?
Yes, I will explain. Okay. Okay, let's see. Why not 5? Now, if I just name this routes as, let's say, okay. P1, P2, P3, and here let's say Q1, Q2. So the total routes that are possible is, if I, let's say from Ahmedabad to Bombay, if my route is fixed, P1, if I decide that from Ahmedabad to Bombay, I will always go with the P1 route only. I will always take the P1 flight only. That's it. So my second flight I can take as, so first I will go from P1 only. And the second, there are two possible ways, Q1 and Q2. So can you see that my journey from Ahmedabad to Delhi is possible in two ways? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If I take my first flight, if I fix it at as P2, the route as P2, Ahmedabad to Bombay as P2, then my second journey, again, it can be done in two ways, so Q1 or Q2.
So what is Q1, sir?
Q1 is the route Q1, route Q2. Means
Okay, sir.
when I'm telling P2 and Q1, P2 and Q1 means from Ahmedabad to Bombay, I'm going from P2 route, and from Bombay to Delhi, I'm going by Q1 route. When I'm talking about P2 Q2, P2 Q2 means from Ahmedabad to Bombay, I'm going by P2 route, and Bombay to Delhi, I'm going by Q2 route. Then from
Got
Ahmedabad,
it, sir.
okay. P3,
So from P1 two ways, from P2 two ways, and from P3 two ways, then equally it is totally it is 6 ways.
yes. So actually, it is the better way of saying it is 3 multiplied by 2 ways. So why multiplication? Because actually it is repeated addition. So can you see that it is again a application of unitary method? Sir, how unitary method?
Yes, sir.
See now what I'm, pay attention to my words. 1 mango, 10 rupees, 7 mangoes, how many rupees? From Ahmedabad to Bombay, if I fixed my one route, for one route, there are two connecting flights. Here, this is the connecting flight, let's see. So if I fix my first route, for my first flight, there are two connecting flights here. So from the first route only, I can go by 3 routes. For one route, there are two connecting flights. For 3 routes, there are how many connecting flights? Can you see that this is a unitary method? The thing that we
Yes,
did,
sir.
2, 2, 2, 3 into 2, 6.
Sir, but we could add it also, sir. Like 3 plus 2, we could add it, and it could come 5 also.
After this, if I just give you this part, do you still think that we should do the addition 3 plus 2, 5?
No, sir. But actually, I calculated it.
You are getting confused by this diagram. Actually, you're not getting confused by that
Exactly.
diagram. You sir just saw the diagram and you're saying that yes sir, 3 plus 2 I should do the addition. Okay, it
Yes,
is not a confusion, just by diagram is misleading you. It is not a confusion. I will give you another question. Wait, means
Okay,
I
sir.
will confuse you in another question. That question will come. Okay. So this is the thing that we studied here right now. This example from Ahmedabad to Bombay, Bombay to Delhi, 3 multiplied by 2, it is equal to 6. This is called as principle of multiplication, which is also called as fundamental theorem of counting. This question that we did, in fancy words, unitary means, I will call it as unitary method. I like to call it unitary method. Some people call it to like to call it principle of multiplication. It's a standard word, standard term, and more standard term is fundamental principle of counting. Now another term, another principle of counting is principle of addition. Now what is principle of addition? Now let's say in this example only I will I will draw another diagram. Again, Ahmedabad, Bombay, Delhi. Okay. Ahmedabad to Bombay, there are 3 flights. Bombay to Delhi, there are 2 flights. Okay. Now there is another option. Let's say Chennai. So now let's say Ahmedabad to Chennai, there are 1, 2, 3, and let's say 4. Okay, Ahmedabad to Chennai, there are 4 flights, and Chennai to Delhi, more ahead, there are, how many should we take? 3 we will take. 1, 2, and okay. Now again, a person has to go from Ahmedabad to Delhi, and he will not repeat, means don't do such things that sir first he will go from Ahmedabad to Bombay to Delhi. It can go, means there are only 2 ways, sir. Either he will go to Delhi via Bombay, means Ahmedabad, Bombay, Delhi, or he will go to Delhi via Chennai, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Delhi. Don't do these things that sir Ahmedabad to A, point A to C, then again return to A, then B, D, and all those things. No such funny business. Okay, straightforward flights. Now again the same question. Yes, tell me, what's your doubt?
So there are 2 ways to go to Delhi.
Yeah, 2 ways to go to Delhi, either via Bombay or via Chennai. So now, how many ways actually, means in how many ways can he reach Delhi? Means if I just give you this question, this much question, okay, I hit the screen, see the bottom part of the screen where my cursor is there. It's just the repetition of the previous question. If Chennai flights are just completely blocked out, if Chennai airport is blocked out completely, so he has to go from Bombay only. If he has to go from Bombay, that question we have already solved. Okay, it's just the extension of the previous question. Now he has 2 ways, either book his flights, either book his connecting flight via Bombay or book his connecting flight via Chennai. So in how many ways can he travel to Delhi? Write your answers in the chat box.
2 ways.
Write your answers in the chat box. 2 is not the answer. Answer is not 2. Okay. Think for a while and yes, Shreya, correct it is. Shreya got the answer as correct. Pujita wrong. Then Shreya Rahul Jain correct. Kartikeya correct. Sneha correct. Shri Riddhi wrong. Okay, Janvi correct. Pujita wrong. Janvi correct. Puvi wrong. Then Yash correct. Vignesh correct. Okay, let's see the explanation. The correct answer is 18. Okay, the correct answer is 18. So how did I got this conclusion is, see, only he has only 2 options, either via Bombay or, this word is very important, or why Bombay, or he can go why Chennai. He cannot be present at both the places simultaneously. Okay. And there is no such thing as he's going to Bombay, then returning back to Ahmedabad, and then taking the flights to Chennai and all those things. So why Bombay? How many flights are there? Is it 3 multiplied by 2? Do everyone agree with me? P1, P2, P3. So for 1P, there are 2 queues. For 1P, there are 2 queues. So in total, I have 3 Ps. Okay, for 1 parrot, there are 3 queues. So total, there are 3 parrots. So for 3 parrots, there are 3 multiplied by 2 queues. Unitary method. If the Bombay flight wouldn't have been there, if the Bombay airport would have been blocked, if he is forced to go via the Chennai airport. So via Chennai, from Ahmedabad to Chennai, let's say M1, M2, M3, M4, and then N1, N2, N3. For one of M, for one of Mango, there are 3 of N, Nagpur. So there are 4 of M. For one M, there are 3 N's. So for 4 M's, there are how many N's? Via Chennai, there are 4 multiplied by 3 flights. There are 4 multiplied by 3 routes. Do you agree with me? Is this expression of 4 into 3 clear to everyone? Why did I do 4 multiplied by 3? Just like we did 3 multiplied by 2, here I am doing 4 multiplied by 3. 4 multiplied by 3 is, sir, for M1, if I fixed M1 from Ahmedabad to Chennai, the connecting flight can be taken in 3 ways, N1, N2, N3. So there are total 3 ways. If I fix M2, my first flight as M2, then the next flight again I can take as either N1 or N2 or N3. So there are again 3 ways. Then M3 3 ways and M4 3 ways. So for one way there are 3 ways. For one M there are 3 ways. So total 4 M's. So 4 multiplied by 3. Okay. And in between I will be doing addition. So this is 6. This is 12. And in between I will be doing a big addition. Now why big addition? Now means this is a thing of judgment, that means instead of judgment, common sense is the word. Means do you say, means when I tell you, when you go to the market and the shopkeeper tells you that one mango costs 10 rupees and you buy 7 mangoes. So do you question him, what is the mango? Why should I pay you 7 multiplied by 10, 70 rupees? You use your logic. This is the mathematical logic. So one mango costs 10 rupees, so 7 mangoes, 7 multiplied by 10. Yes, sir, it's quite obvious that logic that you are using. The same logic here also, that 3 multiplied by 2, 4 multiplied by 3, it's okay, sir, that we can understand. Now this addition logic, this is something new. What new it is? If I go through Bombay, there are 6 flights. If I go through Chennai, there are 12 flights. But this 6 and 12, they are nowhere related to each other. No? Not related to each other means what? Initially, when I was finding the relation between these 3 and 2, when I was trying to establish this relation, 1 second. Okay. When I was trying to establish the relation between this 3 and 2, what I was telling you, for one way, there are 2 ways. For 1P, there are 2 flights. For second P, there are 2. Third P, there are 2. For 1, there are 2. So for 3, how much? So they were related to each other, therefore 3 into 2. But this, like that relation, can you say between this 6 and this 12? For one route, I can take 12 routes. For another route, I can take 12 routes. For another route, I can take 12 routes. So for 6 routes, how much? 6 multiplied by 12. There is no such relation. Either go by 6 routes here or go by 12 routes here. So 12 plus 6, 18.
Understood, sir.
Everybody got it addition wise?
Yes,
Why
sir.
I'm doing addition?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir,
So
could you
this addition that we did, this is called as principle of addition. So now the question comes, sir, when to decide when to do multiplication and when to decide when to do addition? So my answer will be that this is a question of logic. The same explanation that we are using since childhood. Why should I pay you 7 multiplied by 10? We never questioned this. You quietly used to pay 7 into 10, 70 rupees. That logic that you're using in your brain, that same logic answers that here we use multiplication and here we use addition. But in the books that you refer, they give you fancy words like for principle of math, for principle of multiplication, if the terms are dependent on each other, like P and Q, they are dependent, so we use multiplication. If they are independent, means the roots from Bombay and the roots from Chennai, they are independent, so we use addition. So if you refer such books, so my counter question when I go through these words is again, how will you define dependent and independent? That again is a question. Dependent means what, independent means what. So don't go for such fancy words, just use your common logic. Okay, shall I proceed ahead? So up till now what we have studied, up till now we have just studied what is the meaning of permutation, what type of questions we are going to solve. Permutation means what, combination means what is the difference between them, and the methods that we will be using. Fundamental principle of counting, whether you call it fundamental principle of counting or call it anything else, the method that we will be using is basically just an extension of the unitary method, our childhood method, unitary method. That's it. This is what I wanted to tell you up till now. Okay, now let's begin with the formal notations that are used in this chapter.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, could you please check the chat, sir, which I had sent?
Okay, let me see. So one more sum. Okay, Pujita has asked for one more sum. Okay, Pujita, I will give you more sums. Let me give you some notations and then we have to solve a lot many questions. Okay, don't worry. So first we'll get used to some of the notations used in the chapter. The basic notation that it is used is the factorial notation. So factorial notation is simply n factorial. Okay, n factorial is defined to be equal to n multiplied by the previous integer. Okay, and this notation, factorial notation, only for natural numbers. This notation is defined for natural numbers only. So n factorial, n is a natural number, n multiplied by its previous integer, multiplied by its previous integer, multiplied by its previous integer, so on and so on and so on, up till all the integers, up till 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. Okay, so what will be, let's say 6 factorial. 6 factorial will be something like, start from 6. 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. What will be, let's say 4 factorial. 4 factorial will be 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. What will be 10 factorial? 10 factorial will be 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into. Got it? The meaning of factorial. Now,
yes, sir.
Just few questions. This is some properties also. You can write it as properties also. N factorial is equal to n multiplied by. So what is n factorial? N multiplied by previous integer more again its previous integer, and so on. So n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, and so on. So can you see that I can write it as n factorial equal to n multiplied by this whole bracket, the terms enclosed in the purple bracket. And what is the terms enclosed in this purple bracket? Can I write it as n minus 1 its factorial? N is separate and n minus 1 factorial separate. Or you can say that, so n factorial is equals to, so you take n multiplied by n minus 2 as it is, means outside, and just shift this bracket here, this blue bracket. Okay. N minus 1 outside and this blue bracket. And this blue bracket is what? So blue bracket is n and 2 multiplied by n minus 1 outside. And the blue bracket separately it is n minus 2 its factorial. Do you agree with me? This is a trivial property, no need of any proof and all those things. Okay. So this is one property for n factorials. Another question that I want to give you is, let's say very basic question, or let's say this question is being given to clear the common misconceptions that the students have. Say true and false. Question number 1. 2 factorial plus 3 factorial is equal to 5 factorial. Everybody, for true, just write the word T in the chat box. For false, just write the word F in the chat box. 2 factorial plus 3 factorial equal to 5 factorial. Okay, Afreen wrong, Pujita wrong. Think for a while. These are such easy questions. Shreya right, Afreen wrong, Pujita wrong, Dev correct, Janvi correct, Afreen now. Yes, now Afreen is correct. These are very easy questions. Puvi correct, Kartikeya correct, Pujita correct, Sneha correct. Okay, so how to verify, sir? A very easy question. 2 factorial, you can verify this. 2 factorial is 2 multiplied by 1, that is equal to 2. What is 3 factorial? 3 into 2 into 1. So whether it is equal to 6. So 2 plus 6, this is equals to 8. The LHS is 8. So what is RHS? Can you evaluate 5 factorial? 5 factorial, you can evaluate, this is equals to 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 into 2 into 1. This is definitely not equal to it. This is something else only. So this is a false statement. Okay. So 2 factorial plus 3 factorial equal to 5 factorial. So the motive behind giving this question was, do not make this mistake, sir. I will take the factorial sign outside and 2 plus 3 I will do as 5. This is one mistake that the students do. Second mistake is for subtraction again. So 5 factorial minus 4 factorial is equals to 1 factorial. Quickly verify that this is also a false statement. Quickly convince yourself. I will just give you 1 minute time. Okay, Afreen, why have you multiplied by 3 into 2? Where, Afreen, you can unmute yourself and ask me.
Sir, actually some disturbance in my house, sir.
Okay, so this 3 factorial is what? 3 into 2 into 1, that will be 6. And what will be 5 factorial? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, everything up to 1. What is 10 factorial?
Okay, sir.
10 factorial is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, everything up to 1.
Got it, sir.
Okay. Okay, so everybody has convinced yourself that 5 factorial minus 4 factorial is again equal to 1 factorial is a false statement. It is again not equal to 1. Okay, so this factorial sign outside you will take that. That is a misconception. Another misconception is, let's say 2 factorial multiplication 3 factorial is equal to 6 factorial. Check whether this is true or false. Convince yourself. Okay, this is again a false statement.
Yes, sir, it is false.
Okay, because 2 factorial is what? 2 factorial is 2
It will
only
be 12,
3.
sir.
Yes, 2 multiplied by 6 is 12, and 6 factorial. So 6 factorial is 6 into 5 into some more integer. It is already 30. 30 multiplied by more integers. So this is so much already obviously greater than 30 only. This answer is 720 actually. Okay, so they are not equal. And for division also again, so see 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial is equal to 2 factorial. Factorial common. 4 upon 2 is 2. Many students give this logic. So factorial common, 4 upon 2 is 2. This is again a false statement. Okay.
False, sir.
So don't make that mistake. That factorial is neither in addition, it comes out outside, neither in subtraction, it comes outside, nothing. No such thing. The only thing that can use is okay. This.
So it will be 6, sir.
Okay. Yes.
4 by 2 factorial will be 6.
Yes. Correct. Okay. So next, now evaluate some questions on evaluation.
Sir, could you give a question like this?
Sorry, what?
Could you give?
Yes, I'm giving you questions only. The evaluation questions are on factorials only. Evaluate 4 factorial plus 5 factorial. Second, 8 factorial upon 6 factorial. Third, 125 factorial upon 124 factorial. One upon 8 factorial plus 1 upon 9 factorial plus 1 upon 10 factorial is equal to p upon 10 factorial. Then p is equals to question mark. Eight factorial. Let's see. Nineteen factorial plus 20 factorial plus 21 factorial is equal to x multiplied by 19 factorial. X is equals to question mark. Yes, Shreya first is correct. Second is also correct. Third is also correct, Shreya. Pujita, the answer that you have written, factorial sign is not needed there. You have written factorial. Think that why factorial is not needed. Everybody realize that there is a difference between 10 and 10 factorial. If the answer that is expected is 10 and you're writing it, the answer is 10 factorial, then your answer is completely wrong. 10 and 10 factorial, these are two very different terms. Okay. Yash, first is correct, second is correct, third is correct. Afrin, no, first is wrong. First answer is not 32, neither it is 32 factorial. Okay. Pujita, can you realize that remove the word factorial and the numerical value that you have written is correct for first? Okay.
Sir, what is the first answer, sir?
First answer is just 144, not 144 factorial. It is just 144. Afrin, Shri Ridhi, first one is wrong. First, I've already told that first answer is 144. Afrin, second you are writing as
1.4 factorial, sir.
1.4.
Yes, sir.
Now,
The second one 56.
For factorial, I have already told that factorial notation is defined only for natural numbers. So I'll give you the definition in red letters I have written.
Okay,
there.
sir.
How can it be 1.4 factorial? Okay. Vignesh, 84 is wrong for the first. The first answer is 144. Fifth one, Yash, it's correct. Pujita, the yes, I think that's the second answer. Yes, Pujita, right. Shri Ridhi, second, correct. Yash, fifth one, correct. And Puvi, first one. I'm ignoring the negatives and it's not negative. Yes, it's correct. First one. Second one is wrong, Puvi. Third one is correct again. Okay. Okay. First one, how to solve the first one? So for factorial addition, there is no such law. So we will just calculate the values. These are small numbers. So we'll just calculate. We are forced to calculate the value separately. 4 factorial I will calculate separately. 5 factorial I will calculate separately, and I will have to add. There is no other way because there is no such law. So 4 factorial I will calculate to be equal to 24. Once you calculate 4 factorial, 5 factorial can be calculated very easily because you have already done the multiplication up to 1, 2, 3, 4. So how to calculate 5 factorial? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up till 4 you have already done 1, 2, 3, 4. Just multiply this value by 5. So that will be 24 into 5, 120. And you have to do the addition. So the addition 144 is the answer. Is this clear?
Give me the first question, sir.
4 factorial I just calculated 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. That came out to be 24. Okay. Now 5 factorial, what did I do? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So instead of doing the multiplication again, I already had this value ready-made with me from this previous calculation, 24. This value I already had ready-made. So that ready-made value I used 24 into 5, 120, and I just added them.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, actually, I had done as 4 into 3 is equal to 12. Then
No. Okay.
so I had done in that way. So I got as 32 factorial, sir.
No. Okay, and this 144 is not equal to 144 factorial. Keep this in mind. Pujita wrote the answer as 144 factorial. It's wrong. 144 factorial, it's such a big number. Very, very big number. 144 multiplied by 143 multiplied by 142 multiplied by 141. Even your calculators cannot do. Okay, our normal calculator will fall short for this calculation. 8 factorial upon 6 factorial. Now, for the second question, don't go on bothering that, sir, first 8 factorial, I will calculate the complete value. 5 factorial, 120 like we calculated, 8 factorial completely I will calculate, 6 factorial completely I will calculate, and then I will divide. It's not necessary at all. So what is 8 factorial? 8 factorial is 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into so on and so on and so on. What is the denominator? So denominator is 6 into 5 into 4 into and so on up to 1. So can't you do this calculation? 6 cut, 5 cut, 4 cancelled, 3 cancelled, and so on, so on, and so on. What remains is only this 8 and 7 survive. 8 and 7 survive.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, tell me. Yes, tell me.
Sir, why can't we do it as we calculated in the true or false question? Why can't we do as 4 into 3?
Where is 4 into 3 true or false?
Sir, like my question was in true or false, we did it as like 2 into 1. Then 3 is equal to 3 into 2. Like जो उससे छोटा नंबर है उससे हमने मल्टीप्लाई किया था सर, तो
Yes,
अभी
yes.
वो नंबर लाइक इवेल्युएट में हम वो क्यों नहीं कर सकते? अब जैसे कि 4 into 3 कर सकते।
Evaluate means what? You have to find the actual value. What is 8 factorial upon 6 factorial? So one way of doing is, sir, I will calculate the numerator separately. I will actually calculate what is the value of 8 factorial. So you will require a calculator. Means actually you do not require a calculator if you're good, but okay, let's assume that we require a calculator. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we have
Got
to
it?
multiply this whole number, sir, like 8 into
Yes,
7 into
yes,
6.
yes. 8 factorial will be this whole number. I remember the value up till here. 5 factorial is 120. 120 multiplied by 6 is 720. 720 multiplied by 7 will be how much? It will be 720 into 7. Okay, let's do the calculations.
40320.
Yes.
Factorial value.
7 twos are 14, carry 1, 5040. Up till 7 is 5040. And then this up till 7 factorial. Okay. Are you getting everyone? And this 7 factorial when multiplied by 8. Multiply this by 8.
402320.
Yes, 40320. What is 6 factorial? 6 factorial is just this 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. I remember the values up till 5 factorial, that is 120. So 120 into 6, this turns out to be equal to 720. On a calculator, do this division. 40,320 divided by 720. If you do this division on a calculator, you will get the answer 56. But was this calculation needed? That's the thing that I'm asking you. Is this needed? What is 8 factorial? 8 factorial in schools, 7th standard, 8th standard calculations that we are doing. 12 multiplied by 16 divided by, let's say, 32. Do you actually do 12 multiplied by 16? Or do you do this type of calculation? So 16 ones are, 16 twos are, 12 divided by 2 is 6. You do this, your means from last 5 to 6 years, you have been doing these calculations. Yes, so that same thing I'm doing here. 8 factorial, sir, I don't want to calculate. My maths is very poor. 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4, I'm just writing it. 6 factorial, I'm just writing it. 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2. I will just do the cancellation. 6, 6 cut, 5, 5 cut, 4, 4 cut, 3, 3 cut, up to 1, 1 cut. What will remain is 8 into 7, 56. Done.
Okay, sir, I got it, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir. So could you give me a question like this and that true or false wala question also, sir?
True or false? Now those were just misconception questions. Those questions I gave you only to clear your misconceptions. This evaluate questions I will give you a little bit, 1 or 2 questions. So we have to step up our level. Third question, 125 factorial upon 124. It is similar to second question.
So I'll try doing that and I'll just send you the answer, sir.
Yes. Others also, everyone quickly. Just an observation. 125 factorial, 124 factorial. Pujita wrong. Slight mistake you did, Pujita. Kartikeya correct. It is fourth one. Yash correct. Sri Ridhi correct. Fourth also. Yes, Yash and Sri Ridhi fourth is correct. Okay, so what is the third question? So third question.
125, sir, answer.
Yes. Third question, it is 125. 125 factorial is what?
Yes,
125 into 124 into 123 and so on up to 321. And 124 is what? 124 is again the same thing. 124 into 123 into so on and so on into 321.
So it'll be 125, sir.
Yes. This will all will get cancelled. Only 125 will remain. That's it.
Sir, if for this type of questions are coming in our exam, sir, how will we solve it, sir? Like if they ask this step-by-step procedure, so we shall do like this, or?
Yeah, you have to do it this way only. No need to do this calculation. So it's just not expected. These questions will be given to you only with the expectation only that you do this calculation. If you are doing this 8 factorial complete 40,320, the examiner will understand that you do not know the application of factorials. You do not know the properties of factorials if you are using this 40,320 method. These questions will be given with the expectation that you use this approach. Okay. And firstly, the questions that I am giving you, this will hardly come for 1 or 2 marks. 1 mark at the most, 1 or 2 marks. Because permutation and combination, this chapter is not the factorial notation. This is, I'm giving you the introduction. Right now, I'm just naming you. I'm just giving you the names that, okay, there is something called as factorial in the mathematical world. We will be using this factorial properties to calculate a permutation question. Like how we'll be using this, the first question that I gave you, number of arrangements, this batting out of 15 members squad, what is the batting order of playing 11? Batting order. Okay, so the batting order of playing 11 means you select a team, you select any team and you give the batting order. You select another team, you give all the batting orders. You select third team, you give all the batting orders. So the answer to this question is 15 factorial upon 4 factorial. How I came at this question, don't ask right now. Just this is the answer. 15 factorial upon 4 factorial, this is the answer. Such, these many, whatever this number is, these many batting positions are possible. Okay, so just to give you how to calculate in permutation and combination chapter, this question will be asked, not the evaluate factorial notation. You have to answer this question, and to answer this question, I'm just giving you the introduction of the factorial notation. The answer is 15 factorial upon 4 factorial, and this you will calculate. Okay, so the answer is, let's say 15 into 14 into 13 into 12 into 11 into 10 up to 6 into 5, and then so 4, 3, 2, 1, they will get cancelled out. So whatever this big number is there, that will be the answer. And in the options that will be given, the options will not be given for, assume that hypothetically, okay, I'm just writing a random number, 15 into 14 into 13 into this and this. Hypothetically, let's say this number is 728100. Okay, so the option will not be given as 728100. It is not expected. It is not expected from you to actually multiply this sum. The option will be given in this format only. The options will be given in this format: 15 factorial upon 4 factorial. Whatever is that number, leave it to the computers to calculate. We do not want it. We are testing the human logic here. Okay, this calculation is just a clerical work, and that can be done by the computers also. 7,28,100. This option will definitely not be done. It's 100% guarantee. Okay, got it? How the types of questions that will be asked. Okay, so right now don't bother that how this 15 factorial upon 4 factorial came, that we will reach there. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes, Afrin, tell me.
Sir, if in evaluate question as sir, could you please scroll down? I'll just see from there.
Yes.
So the first question, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So in this question, like it is 4 factorial plus 5 factorial. So if it comes as large numbers, sir, if it is 56 factorial.
So here I gave you small numbers purposefully so that you can calculate. Here it's 144 factorial. If I want to give you with respect to very large numbers, let's say like this here, question number 5 I have already given you. Let's say 100 factorial plus 101 factorial. If I intend to give you this question, I will not give you to what is the answer. I will not ask you what is the evaluation of this 100 factorial plus 101 factorial. If I want to give you this question, my options that I will give you is something like this: option A, option B, option C, option D. My option A is 99 into 101 factorial. Option B is 100 multiplied by 102 factorial. Option C is 201 factorial. And option D is 102 into 100 factorial. If I want to give you this question, I will give these options. That is my duty.
So, but in exam, if we get like this, like 100 factorial plus 101 factorial, evaluate, what will we do, sir?
It will not come. I'm assuring you. The examiner the examiner, those who are setting the papers, they are also educated people. They will not ask you this question.
No, sir, I'm just asking, sir, because
It
I'm
will not
not.
come. Don't bother about it. It will not come. Because
Okay.
6 factorial only it went up to 720. Just multiply this 8 factorial. 8 factorial only we reached up till 40,000. 10 factorial, if we just multiply by 9 and 10, it will go again by multiply by 90, it will go up to 4 lakhs and so on, 36 lakhs something.
Yes, sir.
So how can, but in 10 factorial only, if you are going up to 36 lakhs, 100 factorial, it will be such a big number. How can they expect to calculate? So don't bother about it. So now, since we have got to this question number 6, answer this sixth question also. Questions A, B, C, D are given to you. Okay. 4, 5, 6 explanation I will give you now. Yes. Okay. Yes, Yash, D is correct. Okay, what is the answer? Fifth one. Pujita wrong. Pujita wrong. Shreya. No, sorry. Okay, fine. Afrin B wrong. Shreya, aren't all options wrong? Okay, no, one of them is correct. Uvi wrong. Shri Ridhi wrong. Shreya, now it is correct. Afrin correct. Pujita correct. Shri Ridhi wrong. Okay, let's see. Question number 4 I'm explaining. 4, 5 and 6, they are almost same and almost same. Question number 4, 8 factorial, 9 factorial, 10 factorial. The property that we are using here is, see that 8 factorial and 6 factorial, they are related. How they are related? Sir, I can write 8 factorial, this property. This is that thing that we have studied. Sir, 8 factorial, I can write it as 8 and 7 outside. 8 and 7 outside multiplied by 6 factorial. Or you can write 8 into 7 into 6 outside multiplied by 5 factorial. So that thing that if we use, so 1 upon 8 factorial, 9 factorial, 10 factorial. How do we do the addition? So for addition of these fractions, LHS I'm talking about, okay. LHS 3 fractions are there. We have to convert the LHS into the same denominators, 8 factorial, 9 factorial, 10 factorial. Now use your imaginations. This 10 factorial I will write, let it be as it is. So 9 factorial is already there. Okay, means 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 up to 9. 10, I want, my target is for 10 factorial. So I will just multiply by the denominator by 10. So this becomes 10 factorial. If I'm multiplying the denominator by 10, I am forced to multiply the numerator also by 10. So is my denominator 10 factorial? Can you say this? 9 factorial multiplied by 10 is 10 factorial. This is 10 factorial, same thing. Sir, 8 factorial was already present. Okay, yes, 8 factorial was already present. To convert it, this denominator into 10 factorial, I multiply by 9 and 10. If I'm multiplying the denominator by 9 and 10, numerator also I will have to multiply by 9 and 10, that is 90. And this one was already there. This is my LHS. This is my LHS equal to this much. So just do the addition, 90 plus 10, 100, 100 plus 1, 101 upon 10 factorial. And this is asked to you, P upon 100 and P upon 10 factorial. So P is equals to 10. Sorry, P equal to 101. Is this clear? Explanation of fourth question, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Question number 5. Question number 5. 19 factorial, 20 factorial, 21 factorial. After in your doubt. Very big numbers. It's not expected
Yes,
from you to calculate that. So I've already given you x multiplied by 19 factorial. So how to calculate x? So let this 19 factorial be as it is. 20 factorial. 20 factorial, can I write it as 20 multiplied by 19 factorial? 21 factorial, can I write it as a 21 into 20 multiplied by 19, 18, 17, 16 and so on. So 19 factorial. So this is my 19 factorial. Here is my 19 factorial. Here is my 19 factorial. Whatever that big number is, it's a very, very big number. I need not bother to calculate it. That big number, I will take it as common. From the first, 1 will remain. From the second, 20 will remain. And from the third, 21 into 20 will remain. That is 420. So this is 420 plus 20, that is 440. 440 plus 1. 440 plus 1 is 441 multiplied by whatever that big number is, 19 factorial. And he has asked me to compare these two. On comparing these two, x is equals to 441. Okay. Can you see this result? X equal to 441. Everybody? And now the same logic here. Last 100 factorial, 101 factorial. 100 factorial, 101 factorial, sir. It is something factorial common in the bracket in the options. So 100 factorial, 101 factorial, as such there is no property. At the most what I can do is 100 factorial common. 101 is what? 101 multiplied by 100 factorial. So that will be 100 factorial outside, and in bracket it will remain is 1 plus 101. So it turns out to be equal to 102 separate into 100 factorial, which is option number D. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just 1 second. So this is your NCRT question only, just one question I'm giving you NCRT. So you will know that it's a very easy sum. Evaluate. Okay. Eight factorial upon 6 factorial into 2 factorial. One upon 6 factorial plus 1 upon 7 factorial is equals to x upon 8 factorial. So x is equals to question mark. Six factorial upon 6 minus 2 factorial. Fourth one will be a large number that you will have to calculate. Okay. Shreya, 1 minute. Let me check the answers now. Everybody's. Yes. Shreya first correct. Shri Vidhi first is correct. Pujita first is correct. Shreya second one is wrong. Yash. Yes, Yash all correct. All four of them. Uvi first is correct. Shri Ridhi second is correct. Shreya third one. Yes, right it is. Fourth is also right. Shreya. And Kartike first and second correct. Afrin first is right. Shri Ridhi third is also right. Kartike third and fourth. Yes, right. Kartike is also Afrin I've mentioned. Shreya second is also right. Ujita, it's not the no answer comes in point. All answers are in integers. Okay. So first one 8 factorial upon 6 factorial into 2 factorial. So if I just look at this much part, it should click to me that it is 8 into 7. Why it is 8 into 7? 8 into 7, this 2 factorial is 2 as it is. 2 factorial, shall I write it as 2? So where did that 6 factorial disappear? 6 factorial did not disappear, it got cancelled out. 8 into 7, 8 factorial in the numerator, it was 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 up till. And this 6 factorial denominator, it was 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The second one will be 1.
So they got cancelled out among themselves. What remains is 8 into 7 upon 2, 56 upon 2. So that is 28. Second one is 64. Answer of second is 64. Excuse me. My target is to convert all the denominators in 8 factorial. All the denominators as 8 factorial. So 7 factorial is already there. 7 factorial to convert it into 8, I will have to multiply the denominator as 8. 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Multiply by 8. So numerator also multiply by 8. So 6 factorial means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is already there. Multiplied by 7, multiplied by 8. This becomes 8 factorial. So numerator also I will have to do 7 into 8. So ultimately this is 8 sevens are 56 upon 8 factorial. Addition 8 upon 8 factorial, which gives me 56 plus 8, 64 upon 8 factorial, which is my required value. So x
Sir,
is
I
equal,
didn't get the second question. So
x is equals to 64.
excuse me, sir.
Yes, this 7 factorial denominator I am converting to 8 factorial. How can you convert 7 factorial to 8 factorial? Can I multiply this 7 factorial into 8? If I multiply the denominator by 8, I will have to multiply the numerator also by 8, equivalent fractions. So 8 multiplied by 7 factorial is 8 factorial, na free.
What, sir?
8 multiplied by 7 factorial is 8 factorial.
Yes, sir.
And 6 factorial, I want it to convert 8 factorial. So what is 6 factorial? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. It is getting stopped at 6 only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do not want it to stop at 6. I want it to go up to 8. So 7 and 8 are missing. So I added the multiplicator in terms of 7 and 8. Means added means included. I included the terms of 7 and 8, the multiplication by 7 and 8. So denominator I am including 7 and 8. So the numerator also I will multiply by 7 and 8. Got it? So this denominator 6 factorial into 7 into 8 is nothing but 8 factorial. So the numerator is 8 into 7, 56. Got it, Afreen?
Yes, sir.
And 56 upon 8 factorial, 8 upon 8 factorial. What is the addition? 64 upon 8 factorial. Compare the numerators, x equal to 64. Now third one, 6 factorial upon this bracket factorial. So it is one and the same thing. That 6 factorial upon 4 factorial. 6 factorial. So 6 into 5 into 4, 3, 2, 1, they will get just cancelled out. 6 into 5, that will remain. That will be equal to 30. And fourth one, okay, it was a little bit complicated. It means clerical question. Clerical, you just have to calculate it. 9 factorial. You substitute it as 9 factorial upon 9 minus 5 bracket factorial. So this is nothing but 9 factorial upon 4 factorial. And what is 9 factorial upon 4 factorial? So 9 factorial, if I go on writing, it will be 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 multiplied by 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Multiplied by 4, 3, 2, 1. But this 4, 3, 2, 1 is also present in the denominator. So can I cancel them out? Cancel. So what remains is just 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5. So just do this multiplication. Now this multiplication
The answer is 15120.
yes, correct. So I will just, this is just a 15120. Okay. So this was the first part of the getting acquainted with the factorial notation. Now the next part in tomorrow's class, the thing that we'll be doing is the meaning of the symbol NPR. Okay. NPR is a symbol. Symbol means what? The question is, the standard question is, out of what we will be studying in tomorrow's class that I'm telling you. Out of n different objects, out of n distinct objects, distinct word is important. Out of n distinct objects, number of ways of call it arrangement or call it permutation. Permutation of R objects. Out of n distinct permutation of R objects, where obviously R is greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to n. And n and R all natural numbers. We're dealing with natural numbers. Okay. So you have, let's say, this is the team, the selection of team batting order question. Out of the 15, n is equals to 15. N is equal to 15. There are 15 distinct players. Obviously, the players are different. There are no clones here. There is no clone of Virat Kohli. So there are 15 different players. Out of those 15 different players, we have to arrange the 11 players. R is equals to 11. In how many ways can you arrange 11 players? The batting order means you have to choose the team also and you have to arrange them also. So this is the permutation question. So whatever is the answer, the symbol for this question is NPR. And this value comes out to be equal to, we will derive this equal to, NPR is just a symbol given, and this symbol, the symbol that was given, this value turns out to be equal to n factorial divided by n minus R its factorial. And the second question that we will be studying tomorrow is NCR. C for combination. Again, out of n distinct objects. Distinct is important. Okay. Out of n distinct objects, combination of R objects, where R is greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to n. So this is the question of team, the first question that we saw in the today's lecture. In how many ways? N equal to 11. In the out of the squad of 15 member squad, in how many ways can you select a team of 11 players? Combination of 11. Okay, so combination of 11. So this is that question. So the formula for this, the symbol was given to be equal to NCR, and we will derive this formula tomorrow, that this comes out to be equal to n factorial upon r factorial multiplied by n minus r its factorial. This part we will do tomorrow. So in your NCRT, from page number 141, write it down. Page number 141 NCRT, derivation of the formula for NPR. Derivation of the formula for NPR, and after that NCR, whether it's given to you. Yes, NCR is also given. From NCR, NPR and NCR, come with a pre-reading of that. If you come with a pre-reading, you will understand this formulas very well tomorrow. Otherwise, it will be just means how the formulas are coming. Okay. From page number 141, come with a pre-reading. That will be discussed tomorrow.